Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Lilian Uja. If you see my face for the first time, thank you for stopping by and thank you for watching my video. I appreciate you, and for those who always watch, I really do appreciate your time. Okay, so guys, today I'm talking about the province of New Brunswick. New Brunswick is a province in the Atlantic region of Canada, and New Brunswick has just reopened their PNP, which is the Provincial Nomination Program. Now, sometime early 2024, the province of New Brunswick stopped their PNP programs and their AIP programs. AIP means Atlantic Immigration Program. Now, right now, as at February 5th of 2025, they have reopened the PNP programs and also the AIP program. So today I want to share with you some major changes that they have introduced, because this time they have introduced major changes. One of the aim of the changes that they have made in this 2025 is that they are going to be selecting candidates for permanent residents, through their PNP programs and other programs that they have. But this time it's going to be in a controlled manner. And one thing they have done is that they have restricted some jobs from, some job categories from being selected in the poll. I'm going to share with you the job categories that are not going to be selected, majorly the food sector, okay? And I'm also going to share with you those that will be selected, those job categories that will be selected going forward. Okay, so you want to watch this video and share this video with anyone you think might need this information. You never know who you'll be helping. Right, so in this video today, I'm going to be sharing with you, three programs under the New Brunswick PNP route. And the first one is the New Brunswick Express Entry Stream. The second one is the New Brunswick Skilled Worker Stream. And the third one is the Atlantic Immigration Program. Now, I want you to understand that there are several programs, like you can see here, under the New Brunswick province for PNP that can allow you come into Canada as a permanent resident, right? But these three programs I mentioned are the most common programs that we have in New Brunswick. So I'm going to start with the New Brunswick Express Entry Stream. Okay, so now that we're in this part, let's see if anything has changed. Now it says that the New Brunswick Express Entry Stream will begin to accept new expression of interest under the following two pathways in the coming weeks. The New Brunswick Express Entry Stream, which is the employment in New Brunswick pathway. So for this one, you need to have an employment in New Brunswick. So you have to have a job in the province, and you have to be at least 1 year in New Brunswick with a valid permit. Okay, you must have lived in New Brunswick for at least a year with a valid permit, and then you have an employment in New Brunswick. And then for the second one, which is the New Brunswick Express Entry Stream, now this one is the New Brunswick Interest Pathway. Now this is a new pathway that has been launched. We do not have a lot of details about this pathway, but I'm sure that in the coming weeks they will furnish us with more information about this. Now, what has changed? Now, what has changed is that as at this time, the province will no longer be considering occupations that fall under the following NOCs. If you don't know what NOC means National Occupational Classification. Okay, and it used to be what we call TIER, T-E-E-R, but it has been changed to NOC. Now, it says that accounting technicians and bookkeepers, administrative assistants, restaurant and food service managers, food service supervisors, cooks, and bakers. All of these people will no longer be considered, or will not be considered in this pathway. Now, please note, the New Brunswick Student Connection under the New Brunswick Express Entry Stream is not returning for 2025. Now, this New Brunswick Student Connection was a pathway that was available in New Brunswick before now, but the government is now saying that it would no longer be coming back in 2025. Okay, so let me go further and explain more about the student connection. Now, before now, if you went to school in New Brunswick, okay, as long as you went to school in any school in New Brunswick, you can apply to become a permanent resident in New Brunswick after school. In fact, when I know that in 2021, yes, in 2021, if you school in New Brunswick for at least 6 months, there's a particular school, you can even apply before you are done with school to become a permanent resident, and you can get your permanent residence even before finishing school. That was in 2021, because I know a few people who did this. But right now, government is saying that this New Brunswick Student Connection would not be coming back in 2025. We don't know about 2026 and further years, but for 2025, we are not going to be seeing this program coming back. And going forward, let's see, what does it mean to have an employment in New Brunswick? For you to get an invitation to apply in the express entry pool, you have to have a full-time, non-seasonal job or job offer from a New Brunswick employer. You must have been living and working in New Brunswick for at least 12 months. Now, you have to have received a letter of interest in your federal express entry profile. So for you to be invited to apply for express entry, you must meet these 3 conditions. So guys, if you're creating a profile, if you're creating a profile in the express entry pool, make sure that you are clicking all the province as your interest, right? So that if New Brunswick finds you interesting or finds your profile useful, they can contact you, and send you a letter of interest so that you can apply for their express entry program or their PNP program, sorry. So that's how to go about it. So now let's go to the next program. So now guys, let's go to the next program, which is the New Brunswick Skilled Worker Program. Okay, so for this New Brunswick Skilled Worker Program, we need to understand that a lot of things have changed here. A lot has changed. Now let's read what they said. They said, please be aware that submissions to the skilled worker stream are not processed on a first come, first served basis. Okay, expressions of interest is submitted through the INB and are placed in a pool and remain valid for 365 days. So it's not on a first come, first served basis. They are going to do this at their discretion. So Immigration New Brunswick will review submitted EOIs and issue invitations to apply only to selected individuals through selected draws starting next month, which is March. Please note that eligibility requirements for many programs and pathways have changed for 2025. So before submitting an EOI, carefully review the updated eligibility criteria and NOC restrictions for your chosen pathway. So only submit an EOI if you meet all eligibility requirements for your selected pathway. So I'm going to go deeper into the program that changed. Now, before now, what used to be for the skilled worker stream for the New Brunswick was that for you to get this, you have to have had 12 months of experience working at a job in New Brunswick. But right now, things have changed in 2025, and there are 3 separate pathways for this program. Now, the first one is the New Brunswick Experience Pathway. The second one is the New Brunswick Graduates Pathway. The third one is the New Brunswick Priority Occupations Pathway. Now it says, please review these new pathways carefully to determine your eligibility. At this time, the province will not be considering occupations that fall under the following NOCs. Just like I explained the first one, look at all the pathways. So if your occupation falls under any of these NOCs, just know that you will not be considered, because the government has said it, that they will not be considering occupations that fall under this NOC codes. Okay, so let me call them accounting technicians and bookkeepers, administrative assistants, shippers and receivers, restaurant and food service managers, food service supervisors, cooks, bakers, bartenders, other customer representatives, food and beverage servers, food counter attendants, kitchen helpers, and related occupations, process control and machine operators, food and beverage processing, fish and seafood plant workers, laborers in food and beverage processing, laborers in fish and seafood. Guys, so you can see that it's a long list. Things have really changed. Okay, so for you to be invited to apply, you need to know that your work experience has to be a full-time work in a non-seasonal position for an eligible New Brunswick employer. You have been in this position for at least 6 months, unlike before. Previously, it used to be 12 months, but now they're saying you have to be in this position for at least 6 months. You have been living in the province for at least 6 months. Okay, now for New Brunswick graduates, it says you have successfully completed a program of study that is eligible for post-graduation work permit at a New Brunswick designated learning institution. You are working a full-time in a non-seasonal position for an eligible New Brunswick employer or have an offer for such a position. Now, for the New Brunswick priority occupations, it says you have received a full-time non-seasonal job offer from an eligible New Brunswick employer as a direct result of a recruitment mission led by the government of New Brunswick. Now, the national occupational classification for the position must be one of the specified priority NOC codes, and then you have at least 1 year of experience related to this field. So this is the criteria for the eligibility. For you to be eligible for an invitation to apply under this program, you have to meet these conditions. Okay, so now let's go to the third one, which is the most common program that we have in New Brunswick, and that is the Atlantic Immigration Program. Now for the Atlantic Immigration Program, this one says, now for the Atlantic Immigration Program, it's now beginning to accept new applications from designated New Brunswick employers to endorse a position offered to a foreign national. So this one is actually for those who are outside the country, the Atlantic Immigration Program. So at this time, the province will not be considering designation and endorsement applications for occupations that fall under the following NOCs: accounting technicians and bookkeepers, administrative assistants, shippers and receivers, restaurant and food service managers, food service supervisors, cooks, bakers, bartenders, other customer service representatives, process control and machine operators, food and beverage processing, fish and seafood plant workers. Overall, what I see is that people that are majorly affected are people who are working in the food sector of the country, of the province. Okay, so those who are working in the food and drink sector, they are mostly affected by these changes in 2025. Now guys, I'm going to leave the link to this page in my description box so you can read more and understand how this works. Like I said, if you have your profile in the express entry pool for New Brunswick, you want to go and read through this page. Read it with caution, read it with much attention, so that you can understand if you are still eligible, and if you are not eligible, so that if you don't meet the requirements, you can do the right thing, and then you can stand a chance of being invited to apply through these PNP programs.
Guys, you've seen it all, right? And like I said, I'm going to leave the link to this, to the website in my description box. So you want to read more. If you want to read more to understand, better what I just shared with you, you can go to the link and click on that link and then read more about it. Find out if your job category or your experience falls within the NOCs that are going to be selected. And if you don't have a profile, you don't have an express entry profile, you want to quickly create one right now, you need to have a profile in the pool. I always tell people to have a profile. Your profile needs to be at least 4 months for any province to even count you worthy to be selected. So even if you're not ready right now to get to come to Canada, but you have interest to come, please have your profile in the pool. Be in the pool, because you just never know. Okay, so guys, I'll always bring you information as I see them. Thank you once again for stopping by to watch my video. I'll see you on the very next one. Be good, guys.